Today is day 7 in the 31 Days of Tarot challenge. And today's prompt was which tarot deck was the most used during 2020. To me, that will be the Favole Tarot, deck that was made with art by Victoria Frances, who is a Spanish illustrator, and her art is very Gothic related. So, first of all, I would like to say that I am quite the opposite to many people who usually say that they don't like tarot decks made with art that wasn't created specifically as art for a tarot deck. So, you go to the traditional Rider-Waite, and when Pamela Smith drew this illustration, she was thinking about what meaning it could be used with it, and following all the directions that her companion gave her, and well, all the symbolism in this illustration is specifically created for the card the moon in this particular tarot deck. So their meanings belong to it and were intrinsically and from the beginning associated to it. When Victoria Frances drew those illustrations, she wasn't thinking about a tarot deck. She was thinking about her own album of illustrations, those trilogy called Favole. And the creator of the deck, who I don't know who was, it doesn't tell. Well, the creator of the deck just choose the illustrations that he or she believed were more in tune with the meanings of a particular tarot deck card, like the Fool here, the Magician. And of course, when you see these illustrations, you don't automatically think about the traditional Rider-Waite illustrations. I mean, here the Fool is about to jump, and here kind of is about to jump or not, or maybe he is just waiting for some ship to come and get him. And the High Priestess here is definitely nothing like this. But to my understanding, these kind of decks provide with the possibility of the reading being just more in tune with the reader and the way we as readers understand the tarot and the particular iconography of all the tarot deck and tarot system and etc. For instance, this death is quite obviously Ophelia from Hamlet, and it's not the same death at all. This was a kind of accident / suicide. So the meanings associated with it are completely different than those of the traditional death and the different stage of society and different classes and heaven and old cultures associations with afterlife. Here it is a very romantic and very feelings based kind of death. So of course when it pops up in a reading it's completely different, but it gives you more freedom, and that is one of the reasons why I have chosen this deck as the one to work with during the past year. One of the things that caught my attention, it did back then and it does right now, is the suites. You can get you got the suites that are completely different and of course have no associations at all with the symbologies, with the symbols and images of those suites. So you got dark roses. I assume they are supposed to be black, but they aren't. So you have dark roses in a green field, and of course it goes with emotions. So you could easily associate it with cups. Yet those are roses, and because it is roses, it goes further than just the general and broad understanding of feelings that is associated with mere water, because it is passions and it is intense and it is deep and profound and it is dark, is those that you can or cannot control, and all of that is associated to me with the the dark rose suite in this deck. And then you have the butterflies in a pink field, and they are also dark. And those butterflies to me are associated with ideas, because the air and the flying, and also because this metamorphosis of the butterfly is also associated with the spirituality and transcendence. So it goes far beyond this world and is, of course, way more open to interpretation depending on the reading than the suite of swords. Then you go to crosses, and the crosses are the worldly realm, but they have a twist that the pentacles don't have. And it is the fact that crosses are also a symbol of having a burden, a really heavy and unwanted burden, and also the connection with our ancestry and ancestors. And so, especially in regards this crosses suite, the interpretation and meaning is completely up to the reader's interpretation. Then you have the last suite, which is the Venetian mask, and particularly it is a basic Colombina. And to me, this suite is highly associated with what Venetian masks on the carnival were used for. So they were meant to be a tool for avoiding social classes and social differences, because no one could recognize you. But this one, the basic Colombina, it doesn't cover completely your face, so it gives you that freedom and that breaking of boundaries, but at the same time it is not an encouragement for you to lie or to pretending to be someone you are not. So that about the suites. Another thing that I like about this deck is that it is a pip deck. You have not illustrations beyond the basic symbols within the suites until the court cards. And I like that because it allows you to play with the symbology and meaning of numbers, and also because in this particular deck the even numbers of the suites, like this two of masks, are completely reversible. It's a perfect mirror, one max from the other, and it gives you this chance of not knowing if it is normally reading or a reversal reading. So it plays with this ambiguity, and it is a good thing for me during readings because I tend to not go for this this is a positive meaning, this is a negative meaning, it's everything is gray. It is not, nothing is completely positive, nothing is completely negative. So when this kind of card pops up, it gives you a chance to choose or to remain in the liminal interpretation of the card. So this is what I have to say for the deck I have been working more with during 2020. And the last thing I want to tell you is that I will encourage you to try working more with these art-based decks because they are hard to get into, and they are hard to get the proper meaning because it is mainly up to you to relate to it and to work with it and to get from it whatever meaning it inspires you. But once you have done the work and once you are familiar with it all, then it is a to-go deck. You have no second thoughts. You have not to go to a book and consult it because it works with your own inner imaginary and your own inner interpretation and reading of the symbols. So yeah, that is it.